is also divorced. So let's jump into it.
Real quick, can we stop normalizing situationships, hookup culture, friends with benefits, having the benefits of a relationship and not being committed to one person? When did this all become so normal?
It became normal when all of these girls out here felt as though it was somehow liberating. Guess what? As a strong, independent queen that you are, madam, you are not only liberated from the shackles of society, okay? You are also liberated from relationships with men. I thought that this would be a good thing. I didn't, guys. I'm being incredibly facetious, okay? But, like, it's crazy how she'll sit here and say, well, when did this become the norm? It became the norm when women asked for it, they accepted it, and they continued to engage in it. Again, guys, these girls who complain about hookup culture, all they have to do is say no. That's all they have to do, guys. All of these divorces, these single mothers, okay, these girls complaining about, oh, the standards are at the floor. You understand, madam, that you set these standards and you actually don't have to accept them. If a guy comes along...
Yeah, I find all this stuff really interesting. When you start finding out about female nature and you start really working it out and going like, women have all these options, dude. Like, women like play the victim all the time. That's their one of their biggest weapons, right? Not all women. Maybe there's one on the planet. There's one unicorn out there somewhere. But anyway, but like playing like a guy can go 10 years if he's not very attractive and he can't get sex, and that will fucking break him inside. He can't get sex because women hold the power. If you just say, for instance, if you don't try and be alone, if you don't try and cultivate yourself to be alone in this world as a man, you could go fucking insane. All right? Women don't give a fuck, dude. They'll dangle that pussy in front of you. They don't give a shit. That's why it's very important not to really care about women the wrong way. That's why you have to understand them. All right? So women have all these options. They're so privileged is unbelievable, and the way they can still play victim is unbelievable too. That's not to say that there's some women out there not treated really bad by men and stuff like that, but women decide. Women are deciding, right? So that's why it's really important, I think. I won't ramble. I'm a fucking terrible rambler, dude.
He doesn't take you out on dinner dates, and he won't define the relationship. There's a very quick solution. You can just stop talking to the man and say no. But of course, guys, we don't do that, do we? Let's run it back again.
Real quick, can we stop normalizing situationships, hookup culture, friends with benefits, having the benefits of a relationship and not being committed to one person? When did this all become so normal?
I love it, guys, how, it's like men need to give relationships to women, apparently. And I just want to highlight this, okay? These women, they never take into account, by the way, that number one, the position that they're in, a lot of them are single mothers, or they are divorced, or they're older women with a lot of baggage and a lot of attitude. And then they sit there and they say, well, why won't men give me commitment? And then they start to blame it all on men. And it's like, wait a minute, you could have had everything that you wanted in life. You could have been, guys, I think I saw like an Andrew Tate clip of him talking about this, okay? But, when life goes on, okay, and at the end of the rainbow, when you're an old lady, okay, nobody is going to be sitting there thinking, wow, what a marvelous career she had. What a self-driven and ambitious individual she was. No. Nobody really looks at that girl.
Let me just point this out, right? No man gives a flying fuck, all right, what a woman is doing for work. Okay? No man gives a flying fuck about what a woman does for her job. Okay? This has been something that's been hoodwinked over women's eyes, and they don't seem to see what's going on. You don't see the agenda. The agenda is very, very simple, dude. It's just pimping on you. It's just manipulation. That's all it really is, right? To make you think that you're getting something, but who is really getting something is the controllers, is the elites. All right. So no man, I'm not going out with women do that on men. I'm not, he's not doesn't meet my standards and stuff like that. Or whatever the fuck that means, right? Women have no standards in loads of ways. If they get a guy that they like, right, which is the guy that doesn't like them, okay, the guy who is, a biker, someone like that, who doesn't give a flying fuck, right? He's got his sweaty balls and his fucking leather underpants and his leather jacket on, right? He comes down and he drills her for fucking 7 hours in a fucking hotel. That's the guy she likes. That's the guy she's complaining about. She doesn't want the guy that's kind of like cares for her or anything like that. That's why I don't give a fuck about women anymore. Go fuck yourself, dude. Go fuck yourself, because I understand it. Waste my fucking time that he cost me my fucking life because of these lying bitches. But you have to hold yourself accountable. Men have to hold themselves accountable. Women are not able to do that for some reason. Right? So, but to segue back, no man gives a flying, there's any women, no man gives a flying fuck what you're doing for a living, dude. Doesn't care. Okay? Doesn't care. He's looking for other kind of qualities. Okay? Feminine qualities. Okay? A woman that will stand by the man regardless of her friends and the people that she's influenced by behind the scenes. That's what he's interested in. Okay? That will stand by him even when he makes mistakes and says, no one's perfect in this world and you're trying your best and I'm going to stand by you. I'm not going to stand with other people because that would be disloyal. That's what a man's looking for. He doesn't give a fuck about your paycheck.
Wow, what a brave and stunning and awesome woman. You know what gets respect, guys? Strong family units, strong family bonds. Okay, now these girls, guys, they don't have to have kids if they don't want to. They don't have to have all this family. But I tell you what, a lot of these women, they end up complaining when they don't have these things at 35. They're like, wait, where is my Prince Charming? Where is my marriage? Where is my long-term relationship? Where is my children? And you left him in your 20s. It's absolutely hilarious.
Why is it not normal anymore to want to be in a relationship or to want to be married? I'm not saying I want to be married again. I don't know.
She does.
But I do know that I want to spend my life with somebody.
No, you
then
don't.
do it. You have all.
Then do it, exactly. You have all them options, my little dear. You have all them options. You can get any guy. Like some stinkhole said to me before, I can get any man I want. No, you can't, dickhead. You can't get any man you want. No man would want to be with you, especially a man who has a bit of a conscience. Okay? You can get any boy you want, which is pretty much nearly anyone. So you're kind of right as well, right? So, but you have options to do what you want to do. And then you start complaining about it because what you really want, because you're lying to yourself, is the bad boy, is the guy that doesn't give a flying fuck about you. That's the guy you want. All right? That's the guy you want. That's the guy you're fucking behind your boyfriend's fucking, the beta male fucking cuck simp motherfucker, right? Who's there thinking that like, oh, whatever my girl tells me is exactly, she's not your girl for a start anyway, it's just your time to fuck her, right? But like, anything that she tells me, why would she lie to me? She's going to give me all these hoops to jump through, right? And then you have to be this way, and you didn't do this for me, you didn't do that for me. All right? But what women say they want, they're backwards, right? Women are backwards. Okay? The vast majority of them are backwards, not all of them. Okay? They want, what they tell you they want is the opposite of what they want. What they want is that they can't tell anyone. They want a guy to treat them like shit and dominate them. That's what they want. They want someone to do that, but they can't come out and tell you that, right? So they pretend like, well, the spark is gone, and will you take your shoes off in my house, and and there's rules here and all that. No, for the guy that they really want to fuck, the guy that doesn't give a flying fuck about them in any way whatsoever, he just wants to smash from behind, right? So she creams down his dick. That's the guy she wants. That's the guy she'll do anything for. That's the guy, right? That's the guy that gets everything and has no rules for him. He can do anything he wants, right? She'd even pay for the hotel. She'll do everything. Everything. So what women are doing is that they're getting dumbass men to fall for the okie doke, right? And then most of them have some other guy that they really are attracted to, right? Sexually, all right? With a big dick, whatever, all right? That's what they want. But that guy doesn't give a fuck about them, so they can't really, I can't control this guy. So they have a beta male simp to control, and then when they leave you, they're trying with this other guy all the time. But anytime a woman can control a man, she's not interested in him. She doesn't give a fuck. He's just there as an ornament.
It's had this option available to you. Hell, you still, even at your age now, with all of the tattoos and the questionable attitude, you still have the ability to have a relationship.
I've been single for quite some time, and I've been a part of the situation.
No, you haven't been single for quite some time. Okay, like women do this lie on men. The majority, not all of them, because you can't deal in absolutes with anything, because that's just stupid, right? The majority of women will always say to a guy, oh, I haven't been with that many guys. Oh, I haven't had sex in years. Problem, dude, there with that. I'll tell you what it is, because if I had the chance, I'd be fucking every day. Let me repeat that. If I had the chance, or I really wanted to dedicate my life to it, which I don't, right? I'd probably be fucking every day because it's a great drug. Women enjoy sex more than men. Okay? But they have to play the game, right? They have to play their game and their nonsense and all the rest of it. And you're trying to tell me that when they have all the options to get, I can get any man I want, that they're not having dick. Give me a fucking break, dude, will you? That's just something they're telling the naive nitwit who doesn't understand female nature. If they can get dick every fucking night, you think that they're going to be celibate for years. Give me a fucking break, dude.
The hookup culture.
Well, I don't want to come across as negative to women. I want to come across as really negative to really piss you off. All right?
The friends with benefits. I've been a part of all of that.
And now, guys, she is ready, willing and able to settle down with a lucky man.
Yeah, look at the phraseology.
And I don't know if you guys caught that. Like,
you know, the phraseology. I'm going to settle down. Right? I'm going to settle down. Do you submit this form? It's in the language. So we're agreeing in a tacit kind of way. It's like tacit agreement. Oh yeah, it was there in the form, right? You submit to us, right? You bend the knee, right? You're agreeing to it, right? No, I don't hate women, dude, at all. I get on good with women, and I think that is part of me getting so animated sometimes, is that I'm really just annoyed with myself with kind of like being hoodwinked. And when you're good to someone, when you're good to people in many ways, I'm not fucking perfect. I'm not good to people all the time, dude. Don't fucking want to be, especially now. This nice guy bullshit. Get me the fuck out of here. There's no fucking way, dude. I serve myself in the right way, and I try and serve other people with the truth that I've accumulated in the right way. So I'm actually really, I. What I really mean is kind of like, I know there's a bit of ego there. It sounds that way. I'm trying to word it differently. It's kind of like, is that the best thing you can do for people is to leave them alone. Okay? And try to find the truth yourself. Try to find mistakes that you're doing wrong, so then I can come on YouTube and say a few things, and some people will go earlier, they have to waste years of their life then and go like, oh yeah, kind of like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense because I've been through that and it hasn't worked for me. It hasn't worked for you because the program is designed not to work.
If some of you guys aren't watching the screen, but she moved her head, guys, and I don't know if you caught that, but her filter, she has like a very strong filter on her face, and it flickered. In these videos, guys, it's like they complain about men not being honest, okay, and like
the filter. I got a filter on right now, right? No, my filter is just I got filtered coffee, right? That's my filter, right? I got filtered coffee, right? All right. Everyone wants to look good, though. I understand that, dude, as well. It's not about that. Everyone wants to look good, especially when you start getting older and stuff like that. Everyone wants to look good, right? Men look better than women, especially when they age a bit more. Okay? They just do. And especially if you look after yourself a bit, if you watch what you eat, you don't overeat, you exercise a good bit, you try and do some of the stuff that I'm talking about with no self and stuff like that, and try and free your psychic system from the nonsense and the program. Because they have done it to us, right? You understand that? They have tampered with us. They don't care, dude. They will lock you in prison for the whole of your life, and then when you die, they'll just kick you out into the ocean and let the fishes and the sea creatures eat you, and then they'll joke about it and go like, yeah, the fuck, I didn't like that guy. I didn't like that guy. You know, he got what he deserved, right? But you have no awareness that, what if I was in his shoes? Would I like to be locked up for the whole of my life for nothing? Because I'm vindictive and I have a nasty spirit? You're going to get what you deserve.
Why are men such slime balls, and why won't they give honest, straight up answers and honest communication? And these girls can't even present themselves on camera looking the way that they actually do. That's craziness.
And let me tell you, I absolutely today want no part of it. It makes you feel empty. You allow people to take pieces of you and leave and want nothing more from you. They get what they want to fill their void, to fill their loneliness.
See, they're talking about... she's talking about herself. That's projection, pure. Let me just put that back. I'll leave it. Pure projection. She's talking about herself. She's filling her void with what she wants. All right. And you know, and it's no one's perfect, dude. We all have our little problems. I have my own little problems. I'm no angel for anyone to take me on in some way to kind of spend time with me, you know. But at the same time, I'm not judging. I find it all amusing. Anyway, I find it amusing what I've done in the past, and I find it amusing what other people do unconsciously, and that's right in front of your face. It's right there, and no one wants to see it. It's kind of like, and there's a way out of this, dude. There is a way out of it. And men and women are not going to solve their problems with one another unless men and women have accountability, and women have no accountability. Not all of them. But we'd have to talk about kind of like, you know, numbers. Like, in average, most women don't have any accountability because they have that by nature, and then society enforces it more.
From you and leave you with absolutely nothing. This is...
No, that's what women do on men. That's what women do on men, because they monkey branch, and then they're hypergamous, and they go to the higher guy all the time, and then they leave the guy, and they'll waste 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 years of his life, and then just go somewhere else, and they won't give a fuck. And so all of it's projection, you see? All of it's projection. I'm not saying everyone is projecting all the time. I'm just saying that in this instance here, I can read it. It's projection, right?
Assumption that this woman makes, where she says, oh, all of these men who are using her, which again, it's her decision. All of these men who are using her, they're just empty inside and they're alone. Guys, I think that men... Like, yes, loneliness affects a lot of guys, but there are also a lot of men who, yeah, they're alone, but they're not lonely.
Good point. A man has to learn to be alone through pain and suffering and kind of like having the world against him to a certain point. Like I said, women, the ugliest looking woman in the world can pretty much get sex anytime. She can ease her loneliness anytime she wants. Men can't do that. You have to learn to be alone. And it's not a negative state. Being alone is not a negative state. If you can learn to be alone, then it is a great weapon in the world that is kind of against you in some ways, but it isn't at the same time. We're supposed to be men, right? So we're not complaining about it, you know. But a man has to learn to be on his own. He has to reinforce that in himself. And the only way to do it really is to kind of like enjoy being with yourself. Enjoy kind of like knowing that, like, you can't get what you want all the time and take it on the chin. And you have to hit back in the natural way. The natural way is learning to be alone. You know, and expect to get very little, even when you give a lot. Women can't see that, of course. They can't see that they're privileged. They can't see that the controllers are manipulating women more than they're women, and they're manipulating men obviously now as well, way more as well. You know, I think they're probably the human species is at its weakest it's ever been in so many areas, because this has been hard. This has been fucking hijacked, dude. This has been hijacked. And because of that, we need to start really looking at ourselves and being alone for a while and going like, what the fuck? Like in Fight Club when he says, maybe we need to, maybe another woman is not what we need right now. Maybe we need to start really working on ourselves and going like, what the fuck have we allowed to happen to us?
You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of guys are content not having a girlfriend, not having a wife, not engaging with girls like this in any capacity, and they're actually a lot better off for it. And she asked the question earlier, why aren't people getting married anymore? Why aren't men looking for relationships? And I'll answer the latter pretty strongly here. Marriages do not benefit men. I have said this a lot of times. Marriages are not some sort of victory or some sort of solution for men. That's not how it works. Marriages are certainly a solution in one way for a woman. For women, they're literally retirement plans for women. Men don't actually get any benefit from dating you long term or getting married to you, believe it or not. But they always consider it through their lens. They're like, well, I want this, so why doesn't everybody else want exactly what I want? And they're so confused by it.
It's unacceptable. I've allowed it. What we allow will continue to happen, right? So either we put a stop to it or we just allow it to keep happening. The generation that we're in right now, it is easy access to anybody that you want with social media, dating apps, our phone. We're swiping left, we're swiping right. We are on to the next best thing. We have maybe something in front of us that might be great, right?
Yeah, but
why is this girl sitting here?
You don't want that though, my love. You don't want that. You don't want what's great. You don't want the man who has a care at his heart. You don't want that. You don't want the man who cares for you and would die for you. You don't want that. This is what you have to understand. You don't want what you want. Like I said a minute ago, is the biker that comes in every once in a while and fucks you silly. That's what you want. You have to admit that. Okay, and no one says a goddamn thing about men suffering in this world, hardly at all. There's more channels on YouTube now talking about it. All right. Now just say, for instance, like I bring up my daughter on my own. Okay. Her mother, I won't go into all that, but I bring up my daughter on my own. I get no credit for nothing. Nothing at all. I've sacrificed so much for my daughter. I hate women, right? But I sacrificed my whole life for my daughter. You see, you people don't understand the paradoxes of this world. You don't understand them. Right, so her mother doesn't bring her up. She's been with me for years and years because her mother was just a complete nightmare and she wanted to be with me. Okay, and her mother had us. She wouldn't change the schools because the woman has all the power. Right, so I try to go to court. Forget about that. It's completely on the side of women. Right. And what happened was I had to spend 3 years in rush hour traffic every morning trying to get her to school on the other side of the city because the mother wouldn't sign for her to change schools, right? So I bring up my daughter on my own with my own funds. Her mother pays for absolutely nothing whatsoever. Not only does she not pay for anything, she gets privileges from the government every week that she should give to her daughter, but she takes, right? So she makes money and doesn't bring up her daughter, but she has no accountability and no brain. And I understand this. So I don't talk to these people anymore. My revenge and natural revenge, because those who take revenge have no future. We can't be doing that. But there is a natural revenge, choosing a better word than revenge, but is I don't ever want to talk to these people ever again. Never. Because they were okay. She was okay getting revenge, having me, you think about that, been stuck in traffic for 3 years. So I clocked it one day, right? It's over now because my daughter stays with me and I forget the school, all the rest of it. That was years ago. But I clocked it one day and it was kind of like an hour and 50 minutes we were in standstill traffic. And that was exceptionally bad that day, right? It wasn't always like that, but pretty much most of the time we were in traffic, just early morning rush hour traffic. Because her mother wanted to get revenge on me, because she's spiteful by nature, but also at the same time, having no accountability and having very little brain cells, she didn't understand that keeping her daughter in traffic every day as well and hurting me was hurting her as well, because the daughter was seeing all this and going like, why is she doing this? Because she's the devil, that's why. And the devil operates with a smile. You have to understand this. The devil operates as a victim. Okay?
Preaching to us like she's some sort of great philosopher, and she's engaging in all of the exact same behavior that she's complaining about. And again, I don't care, guys. If these girls want to jump on dating applications and they want to hook up with 100 dudes a year, I couldn't care less, okay? It doesn't bother me. Go out there, knock yourself out. You are liberated, madam. You are free to make your own choices. As long as they don't involve me, I truly do not give a crap. But it's ironic because what we're doing is we're sitting here, we're engaging in all of the behavior that we don't like, and then we're complaining about it at the end. Like, pick a lane. If you want to be a 304 and make those decisions, knock yourself out. But this like middle ground of like, oh, well, I want to be taken seriously. I want to be a wife. I want to be a girlfriend. But at the same time, I have all of this history of doing this degenerate crap. And then you're like, well, why won't a man put a ring on me? Hell no, man. Absolutely not.
Right? But you're so interested in the next pretty thing, the next shiny toy, that you miss out on a great opportunity with an amazing person, right? We do this.
You're not an amazing person for a start, love, okay? And once men get past the superficial of kind of like, because man has to be physically attracted to a woman first in some ways, right? In some ways, not always, but in some ways, right? Some areas, right? So, but once that passes very quick, and what's left then is that the man wants to know if the woman is going to stand with him and not be this, you're not perfect enough bullshit, because it's an imperfect world, okay? And you can't have everything you want. Men and women can't have everything that they want, okay? And women just need to see that they're played by the system, okay? More so than men. You know, and kind of like, and women will always lose in the end. Let me repeat that. Women will always lose in the end. Always. It's an absolute fact. They have to always lose in the end, because you can't do what you're doing, okay? You have to have accountability.
And time again. I have been stuck in this cycle for so long of allowing the bare minimum. And I have to put a stop to it, because what I am doing is blocking my blessings for what's truly meant for me.
Yeah, guys, what's truly meant for me, what I did.
See, an incredible sense of entitlement there, you know, with this woman, what's truly meant for me. You know, no self has no gender, by the way, as well, okay? All right? Just so you know that, all right? Maybe that'll make it clearer when I rant and rave about men and women, okay? No self has no gender. Okay, so, but look at this woman, you know, look at her tattoos, look at her body language, look at her facial expression, look at her, I think one of her lips has Botox or something like that on it, you know, and women don't understand. See, they won't listen to good men. They won't listen to good men that try and tell them that, well, desecrating your body like that, there's something wrong with you, okay? You've been excessively invested in the superficial. There's something wrong with you. Why don't you try for something a bit more that will give you real benefit from within? You know, so when you start fucking around with your body, when you start messing around with your body with fake lips, Botox in the lips, fucking around with your physical body, you know, she probably has breast implants as well. Only someone who is on the lowest level imaginable who could do something like that. You know, you can, you know, forget about your mental thoughts for a second, okay? Your internal dialogue, okay? You'd have to be a complete retard that you can't see what the controllers are doing on you, because you're so impressionable with anything that's on the media. Oh, they said my tits, oh my lips, oh. And you got like a blowfish walking in. It's not attractive, dude. It's not attractive. Okay, what's attractive is just leaving yourself alone the best you can. Soap and water. Okay, and trying to work on yourself internally through kind of like, you know, things that are kind of like, that can free you up to a certain point. That's what makes people attractive. If you see someone that's kind of like, has a freedom about them, it doesn't have to be, because everyone's different, with a certain kind of alternate kind of like hard drive at time, but we're all from the same source. So if you see someone that's kind of like as in made advancements, just say like I've been listening to some channels and they're talking about, you know, kind of like high value men and high value women, but a lot of it is like high value men. And a lot of them are like, you know, they're chasing the bag. They call it chasing the bag, right? Chasing the bag, making loads of money, getting loads of this. But they're kind of like still stuck in kind of like been beta males towards women as well, because everyone wants to look nice. Everyone wants to have someone of the opposite sex that they like. I understand that. I'm like that. We all are like that, right? So, but just say high value. Wasn't the Christ figure, was he high value? Did he have anything? Did he have any material possessions? Did he have, if you believe the story or whatever, there's people like that. And there's women flocking around him everywhere. So I read, right? But high value doesn't mean chasing the bag, all right? High value doesn't mean any of that stuff. High value means that you have a conscience. Let me repeat that. There's bullshit about like, oh yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like to experience bits of this and bits of that. And I'd like a bit of money because I want to make the Man Who Died feature film. Okay, so it has something that I would put it towards. Okay, so like, but being high value doesn't mean that you have the best job in the world and you have the best possessions in the world and all the rest of it. It's an internal position. Okay, and if you know you have. If you should have to know yourself that you're high value, not egotistically, you just know your own worth in a way that is invisible. It can't be seen by the naked eye because you can always point towards jewelry. You can always point towards your car, your house, your property, you kind of like stuff like that, right? But real high value is invisible and it cannot be bought by anything or anyone. But a lot of these channels don't say that. They say, oh, I'm chasing the bag. I'm chasing the bag every day, man. I'm chasing that bag. Yeah. You know, yeah, chase the bag. What's in the bag, dude? Dog shit. What are you on about, man? You know, so a lot of these guys that are doing that, chasing the bag and all the rest of it, but they're kind of still slaves to women to a certain point because they're using the bag to get to the woman. Well, all right. Do that if you want. But I don't think that having high value is anything to do with the material at all. I think high value, like I said, is having a conscience. Okay?
Observe. I need my knight in shining armor to come and save me, guys. And I have been blocking that lucky man with all of these other random men, you know, that I've been having fun with. All of these random dudes who I've allowed, you know, into my home and etc. All of these guys have been blocking my lucky Prince Charming. And let me tell you guys, a dude who comes along and says, well, I'm going to put a ring on that, I'm going to have a relationship with this woman, that guy, guys, is an absolute fool. I'm just going to tell you. Okay, and I don't say that to roast the guy, but I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes who come across women like this, and then they decide to commit to them, you're basically just inviting a lot of trouble into your life. You know, like you really are. There's a reason why men will sit here and we will shame other men for engaging in that behavior. The reason why we do that is because we don't want to see other men go through a whole bunch of bullcrap and ruin their lives for no reason.
But that's it. You know, that's why I do some of the talks on the thing to do with men and the dynamic of men and stuff like that, because I look around at them sometimes and kind of like, you know, I know what they're going through and I know what they're going to have to go through, and because I know what I've been through with it as well. Okay. And like I said, it may be necessary as well because it's part of the game. Right. So, you know, so kind of like, you know, women don't care about men. They don't care about their feelings. They don't care about what's going on with them. They don't care about anything to do with them. You look at all these women talking, man. Like there's me, and I play victim. And, you know, another thing I wanted to touch upon just for a second as well, is that this idea of when women start, you know, they try and get you into emotion. All right. And once you start being the man who died, just say, for instance, you can start seeing through things a lot more. Right. So no man should be ever moved by women crying. Let me repeat that. No man should ever be moved in any way whatsoever by a woman crying. Okay? Let her fucking cry. Okay? Let her have some accountability. If she can't take what you're saying to her, then go somewhere else. Okay? Simple as that. Because men should be dealing with reality more than women. Women live in this kind of like computer game, right? And to take a woman seriously is like taking, a movie seriously. It's entertainment. It's a mirage. All right? Women should not be taken seriously. Okay? Not if you want to not be hanging from a fucking tree.
Whatsoever. So when guys are sitting here making fun of like other dudes or shaming them, it's actually because they want to help them. They don't want dudes to go out here and engage in crap that's going to ruin their life.
You see, the thing is, your best friend is the one that you don't like. Let me fucking repeat that. The one that says things that you don't want to hear, and the one that will risk all things, even people that are abandoning him and all the rest of it, him or her, right, in that area. They're the ones that are genuine, more so than the ones that are just telling what you want to hear and all that nonsense. Okay, it's the people that say the things and they know they're risking things by saying them. They know that they're going to have to do without something or whatever. They know they're going to have to take hits because of it. But the truth has to come first. What you've learned has to come first. All right? And that's part of the game, I guess. You know what I mean? To try and kind of like, that's what I try and do on my channel to a certain point. I try and share things because even from a selfish point of view, it's kind of like, well, I can't accumulate any power if it's all just about me. Oh. It's just about me, right? No, it can't just be about me, dude. It can't be. It has to be about me. It has to be about we to a certain point because I can't get any real power either by just like, I'm just going to think about me all the time. Can't do that. Not if I want to have some sort of something different. No.
That's going to ruin their finances, any family potential that they were going to have, or if they did have kids, and the kids get taken away, etc.
Let's normalize being in relationships again, being married, being committed to one person, not having 4 different people and getting relationship benefits from each person and not being committed to anybody.
Talking about herself. Women have so many men that they can choose from. And they're there playing victim. They can have dick every fucking night, dude, if they want. Okay? Dick, like Reservoir Dogs. Dick. How many dicks is that? A lot. You can have dick all the time, dude. You can have company all the time. Man can't have that. Do you women ever think about that now? Do you ever think about how hard it can be for, especially if a man's unattractive and stuff like that, right? That he can just be like, crying himself to sleep every night because he can't get a woman and he needs that connection. Do you ever stop and think about that? No? And you can get any man you want, as you say. I can get any man I want. You ever think about that? No? No, because you're just thinking about yourself all the time. You don't care. Or you'll fawn to care. You'll pretend to care, but you don't really give a fuck. All right? You want the guy that doesn't give a fuck about you. That's the guy you really want. Right?
We were designed and built to be with one person and to spend our life with that person.
I mean, that sounds a little bit patriarchal to me, don't you think? I'm not sure. This sounds all very traditional and conservative and not at all progressive or woke. So I don't know, madam. It's all very scary territory because, if you sit here as a logical person and you think through what this woman has said, it actually goes entirely against her ethos. Really interesting, guys, how when the time runs out, when we've been divorced, when we want a family, when we want a man, now we want all of those traditional values back. Now we want to start talking about conservative beliefs, right? Because we need these things, now we're just going to spit in their face and say, hey, come back. And these girls, guys, they have a real problem when men say, no, I'm not interested. There are lots of guys who are sitting there and they're the type of dudes who, would love to care for a woman or to take her out on dates or treat her like a lady. There are lots of men who are willing, able, and prepared to do that. The problem is, guys, there are not a lot of ladies these days. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Interesting. You know, try and look at it from an impartial point of view sometimes as well, because it's not about denigrating women or men. I think that, you know, the controllers do their best. They know exactly how we work, and they fuck around with us, and they give us misinformation, disinformation, you know, and women have been played. When you play women, you play men. When you play men, you play women, because we're inseparable in that area, because it's all different sections of the whole thing. So you can't be against women or against men, because you take one down, you take them both down. I yield.